Hello, Kayla.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hello, listeners, and welcome to MumbleCast.
The
Crap.
podcast where we mumble.
That'll do. Okay, cool. Still need to work on it.
So I picked that up just like that.
Yep. Just like that. Podcast that we mumble about nothing, but with everything.
Yes.
And why am I prolonging this? How was your week?
It was good.
What did you do? Anything fun? As fun as the week before? Disneyland. Was that the week before?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Different.
Yeah, it was all different. So I went to Disney World, not Land, 2 weeks ago. But this week, or last week, like, it was last week and then it was the week before.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah,
So this past week, I celebrated a birthday. And that was fun. Not my birthday. I celebrated a birthday.
Yeah? And was it fun celebration of the birthday?
Yes.
Did you get to do anything new?
Yes.
Yes, what did you get to do?
I shot guns.
You shot guns.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, well, actually, you only shot one gun.
Yeah, but I shot a gun multiple times. So we went clay pigeon shooting. I was awful at it. We were there for about 2 hours. Yep.
And we shot 260 clays.
Yep. How many did you hit?
I hit about 2. Maybe 2. I just can't. I didn't. It's weird. Like, so this is going to come out as really big-headed, but there's very few things in the world I'm crap at. I know that sounds really dickish, but I'm usually quite good at picking things up. I could not pick up shooting. I don't know what it is. It's weird. Like, and I was saying this to the birthday girl that I get some things that I'm not good at and why I'm not good at them. Mm-hmm. Like pool and tennis. I know what I'm meant to do. I just haven't practiced enough to do it. But shooting, I literally couldn't figure out what I was meant to do. It was like, aim at the clay, not down the barrel of the gun, and this and that. Don't close your eyes. So I was having fun watching you guys smash it, though. And it's fun just shooting a gun in general because
it is.
Yeah, it's just quite exhilarating. Easy to get, though. But anyway, we don't have to speak about guns. That's another topic, which I'm sure we'll cover at some point.
Yeah.
Or have we covered? I can't remember if we covered guns.
No, we haven't.
No.
But I think my view on them has changed because now I view them as fun.
Uh-oh. She's becoming Texan. What else did we... And yeah, that was good. Mm-hmm. We went with some food and then blah, blah, blah. And then we do a over the weekend. Usual.
Yeah.
I spent so much time in the gym this week. It was stupid.
Yeah, you did.
I spent like 6 hours yesterday. I went in to do one workout and then... Well, actually, I went in to do 2 workouts because I was only going to do it. And then I ended up... I don't want to say roped into it, but I stayed and did more workouts. It was fun. I feel good. And I did another workout today. And I smashed my time. I got like 22, 23 seconds faster than my previous time. Which doesn't seem like a lot, listeners. But considering it's only like a 8-minute workout... It seems it's quite a lot for me, anyway.
Good job.
Yeah. So we're getting better. I feel like breaking records, perhaps.
Whoa.
See what I did there?
I do.
Oh, you see what nobody else sees. The reason we said that is because today we're actually going to speak about the Guinness World Records. Or World Records, but we're going to maybe focus on the Guinness World Records and that particular book. Is it still a book? It must be still a book and
yeah, I think
TV show and other things.
It was like my favorite book to look. Like, everybody always wanted to check out that book at the library.
It was. It was like one of the ones you'd get every Christmas. Someone in your family would get it every Christmas.
Yeah.
They must have sold millions of books.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I guess people like to know what's the best.
And what's the weirdest.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Well, in that case,
let's get ready to mumble.
All right, so what do you know about the Guinness World Records? Like the actual history of it?
Not much. Like nothing.
It was almost like a wife's tale. When we were younger, it was like, oh, where does it come from? Oh, people at Guinness did it because they were drunk and they wanted to know, who's the best at this or that. But in reality, that's exactly where it came from.
Really?
Yeah, so in Dublin, and it came about in the early 50s or so by a guy called Sir Hugh Beaver, and he was, at the point, the managing director of the Guinness Brewery. And he was at a party out in England or something, Wexford, wherever that is, in England somewhere, and they were talking about what was the fastest game bird. So, the birds you're shooting, and also, look at that. Yeah. God, everything comes around, what a nice wee segue. What was the fastest game bird to shoot? And then they looked into all the data and they couldn't find anything. Nobody was sure what the fastest game bird was. And so he from there, he just kind of kept it in his mind, and a couple of years later, he had an idea of how to promote Guinness by creating a book that they'd kind of sell or give out that would settle pub arguments. So how many times have you been in a pub or a bar and you've had, well, maybe not so much anymore because people Google things, but back in the day you'd be like, oh, I bet you this or this or this or they wanted something that has cold hard facts, which makes sense. I guess obviously it makes sense. So and then in the 1950s, 1954 or so, they invited two people, Norris and Ross McWhirter. They were known as fact-finding researchers from Fleet Street in London. I think Fleet Street in London. And they asked them to compile a book of fact and figures. How long do you think that took them?
2 years.
Near enough, actually. That's a pretty good guess.
Really?
Actually, no. Nope, not 2 years at all. I was wrong. I thought it said months, but not years. So they created a new room in their offices to kind of work on this, and they spent... This is the first book, mind. So this is like before they have all this stupid stuff. It took them 13 and a half weeks of 90-hour weeks.
Wow.
So 90-hour weeks is pretty... That's like 2 full working weeks for modern day people.
Yeah.
So they're working on it. That's including weekends and bank holidays, blah, blah, blah. And they put together the first ever, the Guinness Book of Records. That's what it was called, the first one. And it became a bestseller almost immediately. And it became trusted brand. It became something that people aspire towards and look towards. And it became like the peak of all records. If anyone says to you now, oh, what's the record? You would automatically think it'd have to be in the Guinness World Records for it to be certified. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of interesting that people can just make up, oh yeah, I'll become a certified board, why not? But yeah. And then over the last 60 years, I guess it's almost 70 years now, the Guinness World Records has become like a household brand. And the book sells many, many each year. It had multiple TV shows in multiple different countries and different languages. And it's become a full business in itself. I don't even know if it's still related to Guinness. It probably is.
I never put 2 and 2 together that it was like Guinness.
Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you. I couldn't turn my laptop around, but the first book. You know how Guinness has a harp as their emblem? That was on the first book.
That's awesome.
It's not on there anymore. I always thought it was part of the. You know, the logo now. It's like a podium with a star on it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was part of that, but it's not that anymore. But yes, that seems quite interesting. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like. It literally is just a bunch of drunks wanting to settle an argument. That's how it came about. I remember watching TV shows when I was younger of these people coming up with these ridiculous records. And it seems like you could do anything. Mm-hmm. It literally became, oh, let me do this and this. And I think for a while it probably was a bit like that. But then it changed. Okay. And there's actually quite a lot of reasons your application. So you have to go through an application process. And within the application process, you have to go through like what you want the record to be. You got to put out your stipulations of what, it has to be measurable. It has to be sort of a quantity or a sort of time type thing. So
anybody can apply.
Anybody can apply.
They just have to meet those requirements.
Doing anything, but what the thing you have to has to be something that. Well, I've got a few things that can be reasons why you can reject, but you have to. It's like you have to have a quantity, a time. Quantity domain, time domain, or size domain. I think something like that. Okay. So it has to meet one of these type standards. Like how many of them can you do a minute? How fast it take you? How heavy is something? Okay. And then it has to be like universally people can do it. You can't just say, oh, how many times can I lift up my little sister? Well, that doesn't make any sense because she lifts it, all these sort of weird things. And it can go through a whole bunch of other processes. You've got to apply for it. They have to accept it. They have to search for the records. You have to train, and then you have to get enough evidence to send to them to prove that you achieved such a goal. Do you want to hear some of the reasons? So basically, I could go on the website saying, hey, I want to break the record for the most chips I could eat in an hour. And I would say, these are the type of chips, this is what I'm going to eat, this is blah, blah. And they would come back with me some feedback if I can accept it or not, and blah, blah, blah. They'd probably not accept that one for reasons that I'll explain in a minute, but it's quite interesting. Huh. Yeah. So I feel like I'm doing all talking here, but it's all right because we'll get to you in a minute.
Yes. I'm just finding this so intriguing.
Yeah, so like when I was younger, I think a lot of the ones I'm going to mention now have changed because I remember seeing some of these records when I was younger. Okay. But I'm going to go through these quick. It's a big long list, but I think they're all quite interesting. So these are some of the general reasons an application will be rejected. Mm-hmm. And these are boring things. So like insufficient description, criteria not met, non-standard format, research or historical records, too specialized, which is an interesting one, inappropriate or offensive, or discontinued. So basically that's very clear. You've not described what the work is enough. The criteria that you suggested or the Guinness World Records suggest hasn't been met. It's not a standard format. For example, they only measure times 1 minute, 3 minutes, and an hour. They don't do anything like 7 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. It's only those kind of three. that they work from. Probably do days and stuff as well, but that's the basics. Historical records, so if there's some other thing that old records don't match up, or there's been a reason they've been rejected in the past, the same record they won't use. If it's too specialized, so if they don't feel like enough people have the opportunity to be able to break that, then they won't allow you to create it. Okay. Which makes sense, I guess. Inappropriate, that makes sense. And discontinued titles. So there's some titles that they've discontinued doing, such as the heaviest or lightest pet, because then they can believe that people will starve or overfeed their pets. So that sort of thing.
So anything like, unethical.
So that's your general, and then a bit more specific. So they don't do all alcohol consumption. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Animal breeds, so they won't say like the biggest Great Dane or the smallest Chihuahua or the biggest Chihuahua, because I think that's too broad. They'll do the biggest dog and the smallest dog, but not specific breeds. Again, because you can kind of create that through interbreeding. Animal records, so anything that could harm an animal, so like the fastest dog, all these sort of, some of these, they don't really do too much. Well, not the fastest dog, but maybe how much a dog can carry type thing. Artwork, I know it seems weird, but you can't judge artwork.
Anything that's like, what's the word?
Subjective, yes. Yep. Blinking, for some reason, I don't know, it's specialized. Blinking, they will not do. Never blinking, or blinking in most in a minute, they won't monitor. Apparently, they can't monitor it.
Too hard to count.
And costumed records, so they only have specialist costume records. So like running a marathon in a costume, you can't just say I ran a marathon in this costume or that costume. They'll have a certain number of them. It's like in a old time diver suit, in probably like Pugsy the bear, like a specialist, a well known character or something. But they won't let you do it for anything. So it has to be iconic or a well known, recognizable dress. Distance running and these things, so the same thing as it's the same thing. You only measure half marathon, full marathon, know the distances, and again those costumes. Anything of environmental impact, so like releasing party balloons or skylines, they won't do that anymore. Which I'm sure they used to do, because I remember seeing these sort of things. Fast learning, apparently they don't do fast learning anymore. Which, how could you do a record of that? Like, oh, I learned this. How can you I guess that's
probably like with like a memory test or something, but that'd still be subjective.
Yeah, it's weird. Fasting, hunger strikes, they don't do anymore.
Yeah.
Firsts, they have done some firsts, like the first man to run a 4 mile, first man to Everest, but they're not really records, they're just achievements. But they don't do any more firsts anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's really iconic and will change the world. Heaviest pets we spoke about. High scores in gaming. So they have a gamer's Guinness Book of World Records, but that's not based on high scores, that's based on achievements. Like they have the YouTube channel for the highest YouTube channel for games, highest subscriptions, or the person who has the biggest video game collection, that type of thing. There's actually a company called Twin Galaxies, which is a separate company. They specialize in video game high scores and stuff. I don't know if you've heard of them, but probably not. They're not very well known. Whew, we're halfway through. Don't worry.
Okay.
Altitude ones. So you know how sometimes you're like, oh yeah, the table tennis at the highest altitude, like on top of Everest. Have you seen that? Or ironing 6 pairs of clothing at the highest altitude.
No.
So they've do these before, and they're like world records, but they only do it land based. So it has to be. They used to do like highest altitude, have people playing table tennis on a plane, but that doesn't really count. So they don't include that anymore. Improvisation or jamming, they don't allow that because, like, the longest jam session ever. They don't allow that because what's coherent jamming? I could just be strumming aimlessly, so they don't do that. Listening to music, they don't do because it's subjective if you're listening to it. And eating and drinking, they're really limited on what they do eating and drinking anymore.
Why is that?
Very subjective to it. They're not really specified. They've said Guinness World Records does not monitor records for the most people eating any given foodstuff. Instead, we monitor a slight number of iconic meal records, such as largest silver service dinner that have set conventions and distinguish them and provide an additional element of challenge. So they may not say like, the most people will ate McDonald's at once. But they will maybe do like most people who ate at a Thanksgiving meal, because maybe that's a bit more traditional. You can set what they've eaten. Most records broken in a set time. They don't do that anymore, which they definitely used to do because I saw it on TV. I'm going to break 7 records in 20 minutes, but they don't do it anymore. The most of a type of food eaten in a minute, they don't do that anymore unless it's iconic, like the hot dogs or donuts. Or
okay, that's what I thought you
whatever.
were talking about in the other one. So they don't do that one anymore?
Yeah, so they're very similar. One's more like the amount of people eating something,
and
and the other
one's
one's
the amount being eaten.
by a person, exactly, yeah. Oldest person with a disease or syndrome, disability. I guess that's maybe just because it's not very nice to say, oh, this is the oldest person with Down syndrome. Photography, so they used to do photography was like the most people in a picture, but now it's so easy to do that. You can't do that anymore. They used to have records of poetry. Don't do that anymore because poetry is such a subjective subject as well.
Too, yeah.
What else? Last couple of ones. Anything to do with a disability, they're kind of a bit iffy about. Small fruit and veg or big fruit and veg, they don't really do. Speedy on public roads, they used to do, but obviously for obvious reasons they don't do that anymore. Sports achievements, they're limited in the sports achievements only for true professionals, really.
Okay.
So like the amount of Olympic records you've won or the amount of football games you won. Surgeries, they don't do anything like that anymore. It's like person with the most plastic surgery, they don't get records for that.
Yeah, it just seems like a easy thing to mess up. Like if somebody's trying, like if that's their goal to beat the record, then that like kind of takes away the ethical component of being a surgeon. So
yeah, and it's, well, I don't know if that was, oh yeah, most operations, yeah, so I guess it does take it away a little bit. And especially if it's your job.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you're not achieving something other than doing your job, so it's not
or
really...
like fastest heart transplant, and like you probably don't want to speed through that, so...
Exactly, however, that would... No, because again, it's subjective per person, you can't replicate that, so that's fair.
Yeah.
The last one is one actually I was about, really, young achievers. Guinness World Records does not generally recognise endurance records by age 16 or under. So they won't do like 24, longest time juggling from anyone under age 16.
I can see how
strange,
that... Well, the only thing I can guess maybe why is because it could turn into like a parent forcing a kid to practice so that the kid beats the world. Like if I think they probably wouldn't have a problem with the kids like, I really want to do this. I went out and practiced every day and I got this. But if it's like, how can you measure that? Because a lot of times it is like in those situations, it could be the parent being like, nope, you're going to go do this. You don't get to watch TV. You don't get to hang out with your friends. When you get home from school, you go straight and you start juggling.
That's true. But even if it wasn't an endurance one, they could still do that. You know what I mean? Like even to do something in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you'd still have to practice a lot potentially. Like that cup stacking, they must be doing that for hours. But I think this one maybe relates more to, you know how like child actors can only work at like 2 hours at a time and then have to have a break and then only work a maximum of 6 hours a day, and that's including rest time or something. Yeah. So it might have something, I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, that's some of the restrictions that you're sort of limited to, which makes it a lot more difficult. I'm sure there was a plethora, probably in like the early 80s or 90s, where everyone was getting these books and were like, okay, let's all break records. Which I was one of those kids. I wanted to do break records, but I had no skills. Have you ever wanted to break a record? Have you ever been close to breaking a record? Do you think you could ever break a record?
No.
I
don't know what record I would break.
Neither do I. It's like...
I mean, I'm a pretty good sleeper.
I feel like I'm like... Oh, this kind of relates back to Devin. I'm fine at everything, you know? Mm-hmm. I'm not a high achiever at anything. I'm just like fine.
Okay.
As an average, I'm fine. You know, and it's like you have to be a real specialist in something to be a world record holder.
God, I heard a fact one time the other day. At least it
seems like that.
But I can't remember. It was like how many hours you have to devote to something before you become... I don't remember.
Well, that's quite a famous. It's quite a famous thing that it's called 10,000 hours. What referred to it as. 10,000 and hours. I'm trying to think there was someone who said it exactly. Malcolm Gladwell, but I'm sure other people have said it. And it's basically a principle that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice and you become world class in any field. Yeah. Which, why a lot of people say if you don't put yourself into something by your mid-20s, you probably don't have enough time in your life to become a master at anything.
To become a master at it. That was what they said.
Which isn't 100% because how long is 10,000 hours? Quick maths. Let's go. The classic segment of MumbleCast Math.
What do you mean how long is 10,000 hours? Like in days?
Yeah. How many days would that be? 10,000 hours. How many hours in a day? 24. 24. 400. Oh, so that's like 416 days of pure deliberate practice. Yeah. So say you did an hour a day.
It'll take you 10,000 days.
Wow. And how many 10,000 days is that? So how many years is 10,000 days? Divided by 365. That's 27 years.
Yeah.
27 years of deliberate practice 1 hour a day before we become the best, like world class.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I don't have time for that.
The interesting thing is, so that only works if someone else or the other people who are putting that same time in. Because surely to become world class, you just have to have put more hours in than anybody else. So if nobody else has put 10,000 hours in, say the nearest person's put 3,000, if you put 4,000, you potentially become world class before that. So saying world class is subjective.
Yeah.
To truly master something, maybe, but to be world class,
you just have to put more than the next best
yeah.
person.
And then they're saying, so maybe suggesting that 10,000 hours would put you as par. There's nothing that can't take 10,000 hours. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a long time.
It is.
Have you done anything for that? Even if you haven't put a day in, have you done anything, practiced anything for 27 years?
27 years.
Like, I deliberately speak every day. I've not mastered that. I don't know how people...
I sleep every day.
Have you mastered that yet?
No, I still can't fall asleep most nights.
We don't deliberately fall asleep, though, do you? Sometimes you just fall asleep.
That's very true.
That's why you have to deliberately think about sleeping. That's how to do it. I'm trying to think what I could do for the next 27 years. What am I... Whew, man. And the thing is, you're so limited. Unless it's a skill, I can't do anything physical, because by the time I get there, my body's not good enough. Yeah. That's why I have to start early. But, like I said,
you could do an instrument.
You could do an instrument, yeah. To become world class or to beat a world record, you just have to be better than anyone else. Mm-hmm. Or come up with a record that nobody else has done and put 2 hours in.
Yeah,
that works too. Done. So, with that in mind, because we could go on about some of the impressive records, like the world's fastest man, or the world's tallest man, or the world's longest nails, but they're not fun. What have you got? You've got some interesting records for us.
Yes, I have some weird, interesting records. So the first one I have, this one is the world record for the stretchiest skin.
Okay, let me think. I'm going to assume, I'm going to guess what the stretchiest skin is. He can stretch his, is that like a measurement? Mm-hmm. 3 inches.
No.
More or less.
More.
6 inches.
A little bit more.
Like 6 1/4.
Yes.
Wow. That's like, how big is an iPhone? Like 5 inches?
Yeah.
Well, my iPhone,
Yeah.
I guess. That's crazy how much that weight has come from your skin that would be.
Yeah, I watched a video of it.
Is it from where is it from?
On his stomach.
His stomach. I've got maybe 1.5 inches.
Yeah, you don't have very much either.
And that's not me being bragging I'm slim, guys. It's just literally my skin doesn't stretch.
No, but like it wasn't like fat he was picking.
Like, this
was like, he like lifted above the fat and it was just the skin.
It's like if I grab my t-shirt and pull it out, it's like that.
Yeah.
Ugh. So who is he?
So his name's Gary Turner. Gary Stretch Turner. He was born in 1971. Google a picture of him. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. He had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
I was about to say, was it medical?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So it was a genetic...
okay, hold on.
Should that be one?
Should that be allowed? Because it's
know.
not fair. People can't replicate it.
I don't know.
It's like...
But he would have gotten this record prior to a lot of those rules.
Yeah. Gary Turner, you said. Gary Turner, you said.
Yes. Okay. So it's a genetic connective tissue disorder. So it causes loose joints, stretchy skin, and abnormal scar formation. And it affects about 1 in every 5,000 people worldwide. And there's no cure, and it's just like supportive treatment that they provide, like physical therapy, occupational therapy. It said like some people who have it like in their joints can dislocate joints just by like turning doorknobs.
Oh, wow.
But his is just his skin. And October 29th, 1999 in Los Angeles, he earned the world record when he stretched his abdomen skin 6.25 inches.
Wow. That's kind of gross, but cool at the same time. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was a sideshow guy in a circus.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen the one where he puts his neck skin over his mouth?
Yes.
That's creepy weird.
I watched him like pull his eyeballs, like his eye skin out.
Ew.
Yeah. Guys, go Google Gary Stretch Turner.
These body ones are always really weird.
Yes. I'm going to get to some more of them.
I remember hearing about. I won't talk about him just in case you come up to them. But okay, what's next?
Next, this one really freaked me out. This is the longest metal coil passing through the nose and out of the mouth.
And out through the mouth.
Yes.
I know. I've seen people put like spaghetti through the mouth and through the nose, and like floss the throat. Metal
coil. This guy named Andrew Stanton. He was also a sideshow performer in Las Vegas. He was on in 2012, March 31st, 2012. He was on something called Lo Show di Record in Rome, Italy, and he used power drills to insert metal coils into his nose and then out of his mouth.
Power drill? Yeah. I think the power drills are for show.
Yes.
Okay.
Guess how long this metal coil was?
I've got a picture of it. I can't tell, but it looks weird. How long?
11 feet 10, or almost 11 feet 11 inches, basically.
Wow. Was that it coiled up? Was that it? Like, but surely you could just keep going. Surely it doesn't matter how long it is. It's just how long the coil is. No? I don't know,
I have
actually.
no idea.
Unless it's uncomfortable.
That one really grossed me out.
Andrew Stanton, Italy, Rome. Nice. 2012, yeah. Gosh. These are quite visual, but so guys, I want you to try and picture a ginger man with a pointy beard with two power drills on his hand, and just think of like big springs. And the springs have gone through his nose and come out his mouth. And he just feeds his spring, or his head, I guess, across the spring.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Really weird.
Interesting fact.
Yeah, okay. Carry on.
He also holds the record for the first person to swallow a sword while suspended from body hooks, and the record for the first person swallowing a sword while laying on a bed of nails.
Huh. So interesting that they don't do the first anymore, but yeah, that's... Why would... This... Okay. I mean...
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like, he does a lot of weird...
Yeah.
Weird, like, body stuff.
Go on, you, Andrew. Alright, next.
Next is... the widest mouth.
Okay.
This one is Francisco Chiquino.
Again, not something I can achieve.
Domingo anyway. Joaquim. He is Angolan, and he can stretch his mouth 6.69 inches wide. Enough, like, sideways to fit a soda can in, like, behind the lips.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so he can take this. I saw pictures. He can take this soda can, stretch his mouth to where that fits, not like into where his teeth, like behind his teeth, but in front of his teeth and his lips.
Wait, so does his jaw open up that wide? Or is it just like stretch his mouth?
His jaw does open up very wide, but it's a lot of it is in like the stretchiness of the skin too.
Okay.
They call him the Jaw of All.
The Jaw of All.
Yeah. And he competed on that same show in 2010, and that's where he got the title. He can also stretch his lips over his face.
See that? Does he suffer from the same thing, do you think?
It doesn't say, but it kind of seems like it, because not only is it just like his jaw's really wide, but his skin's very stretchy, which because his jaw hinges open that wide, it could also be, because it said like the joints or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could also be from that other
That's disease. A weird one, eh?
Yeah. Have you seen pictures?
Pictures of it here, yeah. It's a big jaw.
Yeah.
Ooh, like his insides of his mouth. Gross.
You see the one with the Coke can in it?
I've not seen that one, no. That's cool regardless.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is there anything in my body that would even remotely... I don't have the patience to grow anything that long.
No.
Literally nothing.
No. Next one is farthest eyeball pop.
Oh, I've seen people compete for this one. Like, this one's actually challenged quite a lot, I feel.
Yeah. So this one is Kim Goodman, and she's been able to pop her eyeballs out of her head for the past 30 years.
Oh, my.
So what happened was, when she was younger, she first discovered that she could do this when she got hit on the head with a hockey mask, and it caused eyeball protrusion. But not, like, super far, just, like, some eyeball protrusion.
Yeah.
And then after that injury, she was able to then pop her eyeballs out of her head anytime she yawned, and then just, like, on command in general. So she's held the record since 1995, and in 2007 she beat her own record in Istanbul, Turkey, and was able to protrude her eyeballs to 0.47 inches or 12 millimeters.
Oh, man. Like, do you think she practices?
Yeah.
See, why would you do that?
I'd be scared they'd pop out of my head.
Yeah, me too. Like, she must have had tests done to make sure that wouldn't happen, but...
Interesting. She has 20/20 vision.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's because the reason a lot of people lose the vision is because their muscles around their eyes aren't working. So maybe this is keeping them active.
Maybe.
Hey, but do you know 20/20 vision isn't the best vision?
What is?
So 20/20 means that you can see things at 20 meters like they're 20 meters away. But it's something like 40/20 or 20/40 that you can see things 40 meters away like they're 20 meters away. So there's actually better than 20/20. 20/20 is just what you'd expect.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you have 40/20 or whatever it would be,
You have better than.
you have better, and you've got almost like magnifying.
But I wonder if that means close up is worse.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I know, like, for pilots, especially like the RAF or the Royal Air Force or whatever the US equivalent is, like, they look upon that as, highly. If you can see things better. Do you like Legolas? Are you a Lord of the Rings person? Never mind.
No.
So Legolas is the elf in Lord of the Rings, and they've got really good vision.
Oh.
He was always like, "Oh, I can see them on the horizon." Blah blah blah. Well, that doesn't sound like him at all. But
I know who Gollum is.
who?
Gollum.
Gollum.
I
I call him Gollum. Is it Gollum? Maybe it is
don't
Gollum.
know.
I don't know actually.
I don't know.
What was his other name? He was called two things.
I don't know his other name.
Gollum and... Oh, that's going to really bug me.
I don't know his other name. I've only seen part of the first one.
Schmeagol.
Schmeagol. Yep.
Schmeagol and Gollum. You've only seen part of the first one?
Yes.
Oh, man, they're like such good movies.
Guess what? I didn't see the full first one.
You fell asleep.
I did.
Yeah, there's no way you'll get through them. That's fine. I understand.
Nope. All right.
Totally
The
understand.
last one I have, this one is probably the weirdest. This is the strangest diet.
How is it? Okay, go. Let me hear
Okay,
it.
this is a guy named Michael.
Is this a guy who ate McDonald's every day?
No.
Oh. Oh, that was on, like... You ever see that on Super Size Me?
Yes.
The guy who, like, ate a burger and he was, like, the skinniest guy alive.
Yeah.
Not quite. Even know what I reckon he was. Carry on.
Michael Lotito. He was famous for eating like a lot of random stuff like glass and metal.
Is this a French? Oh, okay, not the French guy. Okay, yeah, okay.
So when he was young, he discovered that he could do this because he was drinking from a bottle and it broke in his mouth, and instead of like spitting out the glass like a normal person, he chewed it up and swallowed it, and it didn't hurt him. And so then he continued to do that. So then he decided to like use this talent or whatever you would call it to become an entertainer. He was French. He became a French entertainer, and he would consume metal, glass, rubber, and other random things. And he ate it until the day he died at 57.
He died relatively recent, like 5 years ago or something, right?
2007.
Okay, it's 10 years ago now, but yeah.
But it said he died from natural causes.
Yeah, I remember hearing about him dying.
Yeah. So they think that he had, so there's this eating disorder called pica, and that's where you just eat random, like, things that aren't supposed to be eaten. Mm-hmm. They think he had that, and then also thick linings in his stomach and intestines that helped him digest it without getting cut.
So it was a little bit of a specialist body with a specialist disease, and it all just worked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
But some of the weird, so before he performed, he would ingest mineral oil, and then he would also coat what he was eating. Like, he would like drink water and mineral oil as he was eating it, so that it helped it like slide down better and like not cut up his esophagus. So he when he was performing, he'd eat about 1 kilo of material daily.
Weird though, because you don't get any vitamins from it, you know?
And he had no problems pooping. Wasn't messed up from all the shit he was eating. So, also he was
digest some of that stuff.
I know. He was commemorated with a brass plaque to like commemorate his record, and he ate that. So these are the tallies of what he ate. He ate 18 bikes, 15 shopping carts, 7 TVs, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, 1 pair of skis, 1 Cessna aircraft that took him 2 years to eat.
Yeah, that's what I say.
A waterbed, a coffin, and then a plaque.
So what does he eat normal food as well, though?
I don't know.
So right?
I read that like bananas and like the normal, like some of the normal foods he listed that hurt his stomach, but this stuff doesn't.
Weird, man.
Yeah. Told you, weirdest one.
So what was his record?
Strangest diet.
Yeah, so I suppose...
Most bikes eaten.
I wonder if that's...
Probably all of the above.
Do you think it's strangest, or do you think it's maybe like... Because maybe they want to keep away from people eating that stuff he shouldn't. So maybe that's why they make it strangest diet rather than anything else. That's weird. Because, again, strangest diet, though, is subjective, so maybe it is maybe other ones. But I definitely remember hearing about it. I'm pretty sure I've seen him on TV do it as well.
Strange.
Yeah.
Like, what do you eat that with? You can't eat it with a fork.
Well, that's the thing. I think I remember literally him, like, taking glasses, like a bulb, smashing it and just eating up, like, a bulb.
Oh.
Weird. So I've got another page up from the Guinness World. Again, these are some of the most popular records. What do you think some of the most popular records are?
Like the most, like, viewed or the most, like, ones people try?
Okay, so it says, like, most popular, but I know some of these have never been broken. So I don't know how they can be the most popular. Maybe it's just the ones that people like to see.
Like, how long fingernails are?
That's one of them, yep. Longest fingernails on a pair of hands, female. It must have a male version as well.
Beard?
Beard's not on this page, but it's on it. I wonder what the longest beard would be. We've got tallest man ever. How's that? That's like, it's not... Highest mountain. How is that a record? It doesn't make sense.
I don't think highest mountain should be one.
Largest pizza, now that looks like a hell of a one. With that being said, no one's eating that. Longest breath hold voluntarily. What? Does that mean there's longest breath held involuntarily? That seems ridiculous.
You're gonna hold your breath now.
Highest vehicle mileage. That's quite interesting. I'm not even going to tell what these are, guys. I've got to search for them. How long do you think the highest vehicle mileage is?
Highest vehicle mileage?
He must have 999'd it. He must have, like, reset it. Surely. That's a lot of driving, though.
No idea.
He has gone 3,039,122 miles. He's from the United States, and he completed it on the 1st of May 2014. And do you know what he drove?
No.
Why would you know? A 1966 Volvo 1800S. Kind of cool looking car. Man, he must have taken care of it. He bought the car in 1966. Wow, when he was 25, it took him a whole year's salary.
Wow.
Yeah, he'd only sell it if you could get $1 per mile on it. That's impressive. The cars these days hardly last 100,000 miles. Never mind 9 million. Most children delivered in a single birth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no way they're all from the same person, though. Wow, they all look like they're from different daddies. I swear.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it 8? Yeah, 8 people. That's crazy. 6 boys and 2 girls. That must be an IVF. Yeah, okay. It was IVF. In vitro fertilization. That makes sense, because that happens quite a lot, that they have multiple children.
Does it say the names of them?
Do you want to try and guess the names of them? Oh, they don't have the names because they're kids. That's boring.
Does it have the name of the parents?
Oh, yes. Oh, the mum. I guess because she was going to give birth. Nadia Sulman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she was actually from California, if she just moved there once they were having babies.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, they're from there. Didn't say the daddy's name. But imagine having 8 kids inside you at once. 2 of them look like sort of like Arab kids. 3 of them do. The rest of them look like white. I don't know. That just seems weird. Maybe how does this work? Look at them.
What's their name again?
Nadia Sulman. NADYASULEMAN. Pretty impressive too. Go on, you girl. But yeah, Guinness World Records are. I don't know. You could sit looking at these things for ages. I guess that's why the books. Smallest dog. It's a wee chihuahua the size of a shoe. That's a small dog. Full grown dog. Longest legs of a female. Largest human mattress dominoes. Anyway, I think all these are. Oh my god, that biggest dog's massive. Anyway, yeah, I would love to set a world record. I think if you sat down and think about it, anyone, you probably could break one.
Yeah.
I wonder when it said you can't do longest. You know what? I think you probably could do longest podcast. Like, I don't mean running because we are like 10 years behind everyone else, but you could literally do the longest podcast stream of continual talking. That'd be pretty tough, though. You'd have to have like 4 presenters. And you'd have to have breaks or snaps and stuff.
And snacks.
And snacks. So you could eat while you're doing it, just have to take it off mic.
Oh, yeah.
But I know I remember the BBC once did the longest broadcast, like 2 presenters broadcasting for the longest time. Mm-hmm. And they did it for like 24 hours or something. And then it was broken like 2 weeks later from another smaller, lesser known radio station just because they knew BBC did it. But I enjoyed listening to that. I listened to a lot of that. that was pretty good, but they said it was pretty difficult. And they were allowed to take every 6 hours they could take a 20-minute break, or every 4 hours they could take a 20-minute break and shower and have a quick nap and stuff and come back. So
that sounds miserable.
Allowances. I think we could do that. I think we could talk. Well, we had our car journey, and we didn't stop talking for, how long did we drive for that day? Like
11
10
hours?
hours, 12 hours? Yeah.
We could have beat the world record.
So if we just doubled that and recorded it,
Yeah.
we could have had like the longest podcast. And it didn't have to be about any subjects, and we just talked. To be fair though, we would get quite personal just speaking about ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't want to broadcast that.
Yeah, let's not podcast that.
Maybe no one listens anyway. It's fine.
We do have listeners.
We had one comment. Hello to that commenter.
Yes.
You probably only listened to that one episode because you seemed like to be a fan of Epcot. But if you're still listening, hello.
And thank you.
What was her name? Or their name?
I don't remember.
Okay. I think you like Disney. I think Disney was in your name or something.
I think so.
Yeah. But thank you for listening. All right. You have to choose a record. Mm-hmm. Something that you are going to try and beat before you die. Guinness World Record. You want to try and make.
It's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure. I'm going to throw it at you right now.
There's nothing I want to devote that much time to. Let me think.
That's a good point, actually. There's nothing I want to devote that much time to that I think I could get good enough to become a world record holder.
Most pieces of popcorn eaten in 1 minute.
And as popcorn
Individually.
with chopsticks.
With chopsticks.
So from now on, every time you eat popcorn, you have to use chopsticks, and you have to become like the world record holder at eating popcorn with chopsticks
In 1 minute.
in 1 minute. That could be a record.
Yeah.
Because you're specializing with the chopsticks. Mm-hmm. I think I think we're onto something.
I think we are too. What would yours be?
Beating your record. I'm just trying at the same time.
Okay.
Try and beat yours. I don't know. Good
Next
idea.
time we watch a movie and we have popcorn, hold on, guys. We need to get our chopsticks.
And go. We'd be beaten by any Asian.
Yes.
I don't know. What could I do? I would love to be one of these people that did something stupid, like a Forrest Gump style, just like the person who just ran and just didn't stop for like however amount of time. But don't think I have the time, endurance, ability to do any of that.
I get too bored.
Yeah, I probably get bored too. I just listen to all podcasts and just go back and listen to them all. Yeah, because they're that good.
They are.
Yeah, go back and listen. If I didn't know, I really want to think of something, but I can't think of anything. Failing at life again.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. All right, well, listeners, tell you what, you guys send me a message on Instagram, a tweet on the MumbleCast at the MumbleCast, and let me know what you think the record I should try and beat, and I will pick one and dedicate some time to it.
That's why I went with a minute.
Maybe 10,000 hours, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. And then I will challenge Kayla to be the first one to break a record out of us two. She can eat popcorn with chopsticks. I will do whatever you suggest.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
I'm going to. My record I'm going to try and beat, and if you don't give me anything good, is try and be the oldest man alive.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds like a cool one.
That'll work. Just keep doing CrossFit, eh? That's how it works. That's not how it works, guys. Apparently, they were saying that so they did a study. I had this on Ben Berson's podcast, the Chasing Excellence. Mm-hmm. He was saying something like they did this massive study in Harvard in Boston of like people from all different areas, all different jobs, all different health, all these sort of various things, and they learned that something like the people that are healthiest and live the longest and have the best life are the people that are happiest, and happiest 99% of the time doesn't come from money or job or this or that. It all becomes from relationships you have with people. So the people who have the most friends and the most social tend to live the longest.
Really?
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to die like next year.
Guys, you better enjoy Liam on this podcast because it's ticking.
I have crap relationships and I don't enjoy socializing.
Well, that took a negative turn.
I had a friend this weekend, so I got up on Sunday and I had two friends who were going out for some food. They were going out for brunch. And I woke up and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys up to?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we're just about to get food." And then one says, "Oh, do you want to come?" And I was like, "No, I need to make." I was planning on making my meal prep. He was like, "Yeah, I kind of just asked to be polite. I knew you wouldn't come anyway." I was like, "Oh, that really hurt me." I was like, "Oh, I'm not even asking you." As in, fair enough, you asked me to be polite, but he just knows I'm not going to go. And like, "Oh, I kind of want to go." No, I'm going to come now. But then I was like, well, I can't do that because that's just spiteful. And I want him to ask me because he thinks I'll come, but he won't.
Aw. Well, maybe you should start showing people that you do want to come to places and that you do have fun.
I didn't want to go for pancakes on Sunday morning.
But you could just do it and socialize and live longer. Then you could beat your record.
If I eat pancakes on Sunday morning, then... Okay, good point. It's interesting. I have to figure out which one I want. Maybe I socialize 1 hour a day, every day.
Maybe.
Instead of eating in my office at work, I can go socialize with people in the office.
Yeah.
I don't want to be their friends, though.
Well, then socialize with the people who try to be your friends.
I guess so. I can figure it out. Anyway, that's the records I'll beat. Living longest or whatever you guys suggest.
Okay.
You got any more cool records?
No.
Oh, God. I'm just sorry. I'm just reading some more silly records. Most alternative control methods to complete Dark Souls. Are you familiar with what Dark Souls is?
No.
Dark Souls is a video game. It's referred to as one of the hardest video games of the modern era. And various controls as he's completed it with a guitar. You know how you can still play normal video games with like the Guitar Hero guitars?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, so you can play. Okay. You can complete it with... Because they all do something with controls. So he's done it with the guitar, he's done it with like the DJ, the weird controllers and microphones and the Congo drums from Donkey Kong, and I don't know, it's quite interesting. Anyway, that's all. Hits or shits? Shits or hits?
Well, I have the beginning of a hit.
Right, we need what was our theme song for shits and hits?
I don't know.
Do. No, we had one the other week there.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll come up with one. Just like the tagline. Anyway, you go. Sorry.
So I went to the movies on Wednesday night and started watching A Star Is Born, the new Lady Gaga movie, and it was really good until I fell asleep because that's what I do. But then I woke back up and it was really good again, and then I fell asleep again, and then I woke back up and it was really good again, and then the power went out in the movie theater. So I've only seen about
maybe 50 minutes in. You woke up 3 times and
yes.
listening.
But like from everything I saw, it was pretty good.
Okay.
And I'm excited to finish it.
So that is called Heart in Our Stars or something?
A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born. Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I think Bradley Cooper also directed it. It's a remake, I believe.
Really?
But I'm not sure when the original was made. Probably back in like the 60s or 70s or something. But yeah, it got really good reviews. Not a massive fan. Did you hear the single that they released from it?
No.
It was alright. Mediocre.
Okay.
Worth a watch then?
I mean, the first 30 minutes, sure. And I plan on watching the rest of it later. So I'll watch it again, which shows that it
must be alright.
Yeah. I'll start it earlier.
I heard a lot of people going about the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, or whatever it's called. And like people are raving about that. I'm not a big Queen fan, so I probably won't see it. I might see it eventually, but yeah. Anything else?
No, I haven't really done watched anything.
So when I was younger, I was a massive fan of Tenacious D. Their first album was like class. I don't know if you're familiar with Tenacious D, Jack Black and Kyle Gass. Yeah. And the first one was great, and then the second album, which was Pick of Destiny, was meh. And then they had the third album, Rise of the Phoenix, which was and then we've got a new one out called Apocalypto. And I've only given it one listen, but I don't know, it's very... Like, they were always a little bit crude in talking about sex a lot, and...
Yes.
And then first album, it wasn't too... And then it kind of just slowly got worse and worse, and because they're getting older and older, it becomes more and more weird and weird. So I listened to that, and I was a bit disappointed. I was like, oh man, you guys meant so much to me when I was a kid, and when I was a teenager, and I love the... I think the album was called Tribute. Is it called Tribute, the album, or just Tenacious D? I can't remember. But it was such a good album. The first one.
Tenacious D.
It's just called Tenacious D, okay, yeah. And the new one, I was just like, oh.
Maybe not.
I wasn't so happy with it. But I'll give it another listen, because I try and give everything, as I said, another listen. But yeah, it's not looking too good for you. Or Post-Apocalypto, sorry. Not just Apocalypto, Post-Apocalypto. But I do find Jack Black very funny. Well, it's sort of funny. So I'll give it another listen. I gave that Church's album another listen. It's a good album. I'll keep some of the songs on repeat. There's a new Slipknot song and a new Bring Me Horizon song, which I've not listened to yet, so I'll review them for next week. Have you heard the new Cardi B song? Money. So it's not very good, but I listened to it.
My bitches all bad, my niggas all real. I ride in dick in some big tall hills, big fat checks, big large bills, run out flip like 10 car wheels.
And we're reviewing it, so we'll let you play this. But this is it doesn't get more. It doesn't get more flowy than that, or more like dancey. That's it. It's just this.
It sounds like all of her other songs.
This is the chorus.
All I really wanna see is the. I don't really need a D, I need the.
Like, I don't really need a D, I need the money. All the bad bitch needs is the money flow.
Money.
So I don't know. Fine. I hope it doesn't make it. Anyway,
People love her stuff, and I just don't get it.
don't get me wrong, Bodak Yellow and that was a good
Yeah.
song, and the other one, what was the one? She's like, I love it. Is that her? No, I love it.
No, I love it.
I like something. I don't know. She's fine. I think she's a very unique individual, and she's funny to watch. But oh my god, how
Can you do her noises?
I don't know what you do. It's like
That like rolly thing. Yeah, kind of.
she does it. See, so this is interesting. So I do it with the back of my mouth, my tonsils, but a lot of like Latin Americans do it with the front of their tongue. So they do it at the front. So that's how she does it, with the front of her
Okay.
tongue. And I can't do that.
I can't either.
So I have to roll it back. So that limits me from doing any other noise.
Okay.
I have to put my mouth in a weird way. So I'm not even. I can't do it now.
Can't do it at all. So that's hilarious.
We have a friend who I spoke to. I don't know if Drake told you I said this to him, but our friend, she has a laugh.
No.
She has a laugh that sounds exactly like her. It's so funny. Cause she won't listen to this. If she does, then it'll be so funny. But she has a laugh that she does when she's like, typically when she says something that's like a little bit rude or like in your face, she'll make a wee hat laugh, and it sounds exactly like Cardi B. It's so good. You're gonna point it, pick it out now. Anyway, enjoy that one.
God.
She doesn't listen, and if she does, hello, how are you? All right, okay, I'm done. I'll keep mumbling.
Yeah, we're gonna stop there.
You got anything else to add?
No.
All right, guys, well, I've been MumbleCast, as I said. Leave us a message, Instagram post, comment, and review on iTunes or Google Play or wherever else you're downloading this.
Yep.
And
Only 5 stars or 4. 4 or 5.
4 or 5. We don't mind 4, guys.
Yeah.
We're all like 4. We understand that sometimes we gibber on.
Yeah.
Mumble on. Oh, yeah, leave us a comment on any Guinness World Records you've beaten, you want to beat, you think we could beat, you think shouldn't be records. And let us know any more topics. We're still on a search every day for a new topic. So let us know. And thank you to Jose for recommending this topic.
Thank you, Jose.
If you've made it this far through, we probably should have done it at the top, but well. Alright, you good?
Yeah.
Alright, I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
And this has been MumbleCast.
Bye.
Bye.